Yeah, we're going? Okay. Okay, once upon a time, there was a police officer. However, what wasn't known is what was going to happen next. Suddenly, there was a real... Suddenly there was real tension for this police officer. Later that evening, the police officer, who was named as Ollie Smith, he received a phone call. Yeah, he received a phone call. He would drive to an incident that happened in the Manchester City Centre. There was some teenagers who were causing real disorder for the public. The next day, the police officer, was causing real disorder for the public. So the next day, the police officer, he went and looked after his family, who needed help as they were starting to struggle and slow down. Suddenly, as the wind started to blow, there was real concern for the police. Yeah, for the police officer's family. Their granddad had started to collapse. The next day, the granddad would have to be rushed to the hospital. Yeah, would have to be rushed to the hospital as he was starting to get stroke. There was a real concern. There was a real concern for the police officer's granddad. It would yet be unclear as to how the police officer's granddad would spend in hospital. But one thing that was for sure is he was optimistic that he would make a speedy recovery. The next day, he was back on duty and he would have to raid a house as the tenant that lived in the apartment. They were starting to make a racket. The neighbours were starting to feel really frustrated with the tenant. The tenant, who was named as Connor Thomas, the language he would use towards the police officer would be revolting. Suddenly things would start to feel really complicated. It was yet unclear whether the police officer's granddad had passed away, but one thing that was for sure was that they were really determined to get to the bottom of it. As there was a real concern for the family. The next day, the granddad, he fully recovered from his stroke and he would be released from the hospital. And he would continue his everyday life, watering the plants and going fishing with his wife. The next day, the police officer, he would get on with his shift that he had to do. After he finished his shift, he would go home and he would watch Broadchurch on the television while he would have ravioli for his tea. Late that evening, after he had finished his shift, he would go home and he would spend some quality time with his fiancée. They would go out and eat at a really nice restaurant. They would eat at Frankie and Benny's. The next day, Ollie Smith would go out with his fiancée, who was named Alexandra Williams. And they would both settle down for the night and they would watch Jason Bourne on Netflix. The next day, Ollie Smith and Alexandra Williams, they would both go out shopping. They would buy some chocolate, for Ollie Smith's mum for Mother's Day. Later afternoon, Ollie Smith went to work while his fiancée Alexandra Williams, she would get the chores done in the house and then she would go out shopping. She would buy the ingredients that she needs to make a stew. Later that evening, Ollie Smith, he finished his shift for the day, and then they would put their feet up and watch television. And while they're watching television, have their tea. The next day, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams, they decided they would go to the gym to do their workout, and they would do the chest press, rower, treadmill, shoulder press, followed by the tricep press. Later that afternoon, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams, they would learn that they had been broken into whilst they were at the gym. What was not clear at this stage is who had broken into the property. Who broke into the property. The police did door-to-door inquiries. Yes, so they could get to the bottom as to who had broken into Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams' property. That whilst they were doing their work at the gym later that evening, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams, they were both trying to get to the bottom and they were trying to reflect on what had happened while they were at the gym. However, in a dramatic twist, The offenders that were named as Charles South and Kurt Wilson, who were both American citizens in New York. The police wrestled them to the ground. So Kurt Wilson and Charles South, they were both wearing blue skinny jeans, baseball caps, brown hair, between 5'10", 5'9". They would have to face the death penalty in New York. Meanwhile, back in Manchester, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams, they were followed. There were some individuals following them. What wasn't known is why these individuals were following them. They were named as Nicholas Adams and Terence Robinson. They were from the Carlisle area. These men, they were wearing blue skinny jeans. One of them, Terence Robinson, had a tattoo on his arm. They were causing mental disorder. Sully, Nicholas Adams and Terence Robinson, they got away, but in a twist, Ollie Smith would chase after them. However, Nicholas Adams would respond, but Ollie Smith would phone the police as he was currently not on duty, and the police drove Nicholas Adams and Terence Robinson away. They would face the death penalty for their actions. Later that evening, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams decided to go to Cineworld to go and watch, to see Guardians of the Galaxy. The next day, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams went on an adventure, going to Blackpool North. It was not clear why Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams were going to Blackpool North, but there were rumours going around that Alexander Williams would go for a job interview at the Manchester, while Ollie Smith went for a walk along the Blackpool Pier. Later that afternoon, Ollie Smith and Alexander Williams would get the train back to Manchester, Piccadilly, Sully in a twist. Alexander Williams started vomiting. Ollie Smith would phone the ambulance, and Alexander Williams would be rushed to the hospital. Later that evening, Ollie Smith would watch television. Yeah, he would watch television, watching the One Show on BBC One. While he was waiting to see what was happening with Alexander Williams. The end, Sam Jenkinson.
Very good.
Yep, done.